hope you are well. Today we are looking at Piaget theory of cognitive development. We are still on pediatrics section where we are looking at stages of development. So we've just done a video recently on Erickson 8 model of psychosocial stages of development. You can just check it down our channel, then you'll find the video. So just for starters, we'll just start with the question, then we'll come back to it later. So it talks about a 4-year-old who sees a cow for the first time, and the child calls it a horse because it has 4 legs and looks similar to the horse, which they already know. So according to Piaget's theory, which cognitive process is the child demonstrating? Is it accommodation, assimilation, adaptation, or sensorimotor? So while we'll be done with our lecture, we'll be good at answering this question. Let's go back. So Erickson brought out his stages of development, which the first one he termed it as sensorimotor, and it's always between 0 to 2 years. So the stage is infant and toddler. So at this point, these infants and toddlers, they always think in the present moment, and they have something we term it as object permanence. So it means they see that the objects are still there even if they cannot see it. So that is object permanence. So what are the key things that you're supposed to do? So while you're handling these children at this time, you teach them what you are doing as you do it, because their focus is in the present moment, mainly through senses and not past or even future senses. So the teaching that you can do, you can just teach probably the parents if what they are doing, they teach their children what they are doing while they are doing it, because the child thinks in the present moment. And don't forget of the aspect of object permanence, which is always common within the sensorimotor stage. Next reads about the pre-operational thinking, and the ages is always 3 to 6 years, and the stage we talk of preschool. So for pre-operational thinking, at this point they are always imaginative, and they have some aspect of symbolic thoughts, and we term them as magical thinkers. Okay, so also they're able to understand the future and the past, unlike the first stage for sensorimotor, which is always just the present moment. So for magical thinking, it's always under pre-operational thinking. Then in case you are doing something, so you can teach the child what you are going to do. And like the other stage which we talked of, you teach them while you are doing it. So at this point, we term it as pre-operational. Don't forget about magical thinking. Okay. Then next reads about concrete or operational. So for concrete, it's always ages 7 to 11, and the stage we term it as skill learning. So at this point, they have logical thought. 2, they follow rules. 3, they have rigid thinking. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to know that at this point also they only have one way of doing something, and they also have limited abstract thoughts. For concrete operational, don't forget we've talked of the logical thoughts. They do follow rules, then they have rigid thinking, and only one way of doing something. That's what they have. Then they have limited abstract thoughts. Don't forget about that. Okay, then that's about that age. Then we can talk of the last one, which is formal operational. For formal operational, you need to know that they start now developing the abstract thoughts, and like the concrete operational, where they had logical thoughts, and they had also concrete, rigid thinking. So for the formal operational, the ages is always 12 to 15. At this point, we term it as it's partly adulthood. It's not adulthood, sorry, adolescence. So they always develop abstract thoughts at this point, where they focus on the cause and effect thinking. So some might have issues like with love, hate, molarity, and other things. So that's about that age group. Okay. So with what we talked of the ages, sensorimotor, pre-concrete, and formal operation. Let's go back to our question. It was a 4-year-old. So a 4-year-old falls within the pre-operational thinking. So we've talked of magical thinking. Okay. So you can teach the child what you are going to do. Okay. So if you go back to our question, so we know of okay. Already, according to Piaget, which process is the child assimilating? So what can we go? Will you go with accommodation, assimilation, adaptation, or sensorimotor? So if we talk of sensorimotor, no, that is uh, it's always 0 to 2 years toddler, but this child has already passed. It's already past that docket. So we go with assimilation. So when you talk of assimilation, you need to know it occurs when individual uses pre-existing schemas to understand new information or situation. So in this case, the child is just using the existing schema or what they knew about the host to categorize a new animal, that is the cow, even though the schema does not perfectly fit. Okay, so that's all about that question. We've talked of they have magical thinking, so we can also relate with the question. If there's any other question, you can just post it down the chat box and we'll try to comment. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.